Hey, beautiful brown girl family. Welcome to the replay for those of you who are tuning into the replay. And welcome to the live for those of you who are tuning into the live. If you were here from the very beginning, you see we're doing things a little bit differently. So, y'all give me some grace tonight, okay, as I figure out this new platform. But super excited to be here with you all. Y'all know how we do. Make sure you introduce yourself in the comments. Hey, Jennifer. Let us know where you are watching from and go ahead and tag some of your friends, y'all. I am so excited about tonight's show. Like, I'm trying to keep it together and like stay focused, but I cannot wait to get into this conversation that we have tonight. Our guest, y'all gonna love her. Some of y'all already know her actually, but we'll talk about all of that later. So in the meantime, go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know where you are watching from. Tag your friends. Tonight we are talking about self-care. So we want to tag the people because honey, I don't know about y'all, like my week, today is Wednesday, but it feels like it's been 2 weeks in these 3 days. Okay, so there are some people that need to get in here. Tag your strong friends. Tag the ones that are like, child, I'm tired and weary. Get all of them in here right now for this episode of Brown Girl Boss. I see Jennifer is here from North Carolina. And we have Lisa in the house. Melinda is here from North Carolina. Y'all got some, y'all in the house. Huh? We see you. Okay, North Carolina. Get on in here. Get on in here. Get on in the room. I am going to go ahead and share on my page. So that's something else that you can do is share the broadcast on your page so that everybody knows how you are spending the next hour of your life so that they too can go ahead and tap in and join in with us. So y'all give me just a hot second. I'm about to go ahead on and share so I can tell my people to get on in here because I don't want anybody to miss what we have in store for tonight. So here we go. Boom. I shared. Did you? All right. LaQuisha is here from St. Louis and Irma from Queens. Y'all are getting up in this piece. So excited. So excited. Very good. Very good. All right. So again, y'all keep connecting in the comments because this is the thing at Beautiful Brown Girls, we absolutely believe in community and we want to make sure that you are tapping into people that may be in the same area and people that you can talk to after this, right? Because these conversations don't just exist in this space, they continue when we leave here. So that's why we ask you to let us know where you're watching from because inevitably you're going to meet some friends, some sisters in the comment section. Okay, the comments be popping. Let me just tell you now. So while we do that, let me go ahead on and tell you what you are watching because for some of you, it may be your very first time. So let me say that if this is your first time hanging out with us on Beautiful Brown Girls TV, Brown Girl Boss, drop first time in the comments so that we can acknowledge you. And if you're always here hanging out with us, drop hey beautiful in the comments so that we know that you are here and already a part of our community. So while y'all do that, let me do my official intro, right? So y'all can know who you're talking to. Okay, so good evening. Welcome to BBG TV Brown Girl Boss. This is our virtual platform that allows us to connect with other like minded women who are on a mission to live their very best lives. We come to you weekly with programming that will challenge and inspire you and get the conversation going to connect with other beautiful brown girls. My name is Kimberlyn, and I come to you from snowy Pennsylvania. Y'all, it's cold, cold outside. Okay. On tonight's show, we are going to be chatting with Brown Girl Boss Denawa Deniece, founder of Double Dose Wellness. Our February focus here at Beautiful Brown Girls is self love. So, tonight we're going to talk about joy, well being, holistic self care, meditation, and we have a really big announcement tonight. So, y'all have to make sure that you stay tuned for the entire show because we've got something big to announce and it's exclusive. So, you want to be in with the VIP, okay? Before we get started, make sure you get something to write with, take some notes, or have your notes app open so that you're able to collect all of the information, all the nuggets that are going to be flying out left and right. Okay. So, again, if you have not done so already, let us know who you are, where you're watching from, whether this is your first time here, and go ahead and tag some of your friends. So I do want to take a moment to acknowledge our first timers. So I see LaQuisha is here for the first time. Hey there. Crystal is here. Hey, beautiful first timer. Omalara, I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly, from Chicago. Alara from Chicago, first time here. Lisa's first time here as well. And then we have a couple of BBG members who are always here with us. So we have Jennifer and we also have Christina. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this space. If you haven't done so, again, let the people know who you are, where you're from, where you're watching from, and go ahead and tag those friends. So let me tell you about our guest tonight. All right, she is patiently waiting in the wings. And did I mention I was excited? I think I did. I'm super excited. Okay, but let me tell you a little bit about her. So her name is Deniece, and she is the founder of Double Dose Wellness. She empowers and inspires through storytelling. She's authentic and unapologetically walks in her truth. Denawa has made mindfulness and self care her life's work, and it is the driving force behind Double Dose Wellness. Weaving her holistic approach to self care into the lives of women entrepreneurs who are struggling to find time. Child, this is me, okay? Space to pour back into self. Denawa leaves a trail of young creatives leading meaningful lives and businesses through the art of ritual. Living mindfully, building community, growing together. These are her pillars. Denawa's magic has been affirmed and celebrated by many testimonies of her clients. Her circle is grateful for her passionate zest for life, do what you love attitude, and her unwavering commitment to helping women recognize their own brilliance. To put it plainly, y'all, let me tell you all the things she does. She's a yoga teacher. She's a mindfulness coach. She's a childbirth educator. She's a birth doula. She's a herbalist. She's a self-care enthusiast. She's a holistic guide. And she's a blogger, which is where many of you in our BBG community know her from. So tonight we have pulled her from behind the screen to hang out with us and sprinkle her brown girl magic on our community. So ladies, we want to go ahead and welcome Denawa to our show tonight. So let me get her in here. There she is. Hey, beautiful.
Hi, hello.
So
Listen,
awesome to have you here.
I need to just bring you with me because that was like the best introduction. Like I need you in my pocket, carry you around everywhere because I need that kind of, uplifting in my life on a daily.
Yes, honey, I am here for it.
Yes.
And just so y'all know, so Denawa and I just met. When was that? Saturday, I think, right?
Yeah.
Immediately started vibing. Like, ma'am, we need to be friends. Like, this is what's up. So that's the kind of energy y'all are getting tonight. Like, just be ready for it and just be here because, yeah. So the people are saying, "Hey, beautiful." They are happy that you are here, honey.
So happy to be here.
So Danae, will start us off. I mentioned, I don't know, about 17 things that you do, ma'am.
I
Can
know, right?
you kind of talk to us about this journey that you have taken to get to this place of being this mindfulness guru, holistic guide, herbalist, educator, coach, yoga teacher? How we got
all,
here, love?
all the things, right?
All the things.
All the things. What's funny is when you list it off, it seems like a whole lot, but honestly, all of the things kind of intertwine with themselves. I started my journey about 10 years ago. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease, Graves' disease, which caused a lot of issues within my body. So basically from there, I started changing the way that I ate. Which started my plant journey, not only with the things that I put in my body, but becoming a plant mom.
And we pause right there for a second.
Yes.
Plant mom. I need more.
You need more plants? Everybody does.
I need to understand about plant mom because this just came up the other day. Actually, on our last episode of Brown Girl Boss, we had Talia Boone on, and she has a flower company, Postal Petals, and she talked about plant mom. Talk to us about plant mom. What does that mean?
Okay, so if you have any sort of plant, it can be a succulent. You're a plant mom. That's it. Like having any sort of living thing. Whenever you have plants, you learn that they require stuff, just like children. Like they require soil, they require watering. There are some plants that are kind of like set it, forget it, but for the most part, they become part of your responsibility and part of your routine. So like when you get one, you might as well just make room because you're going to have to get another one. Like you can't just have one plant. Oh yeah, I have a lot of plants. This is kind of my plant room, but it's really my office. It's the one space in my house that is all mine.
And what's the first thing I said when you got on? I was like, I'm loving your plants. Irma noticed your plants too. She said that's the first thing she noticed. Me too, Irma girl. Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off. So you're a plant mom.
Yeah, so that's kind of like once you purchase one plant, you go down the rabbit hole of plants. And the funny thing is you start to notice and become in tune with your plant. And it's almost like self-care because you're remembering to look in on your plant. You're remembering to water it. You're remembering to do all these things. And it's very therapeutic for me.
I am having a moment because so like I told you last show we had the flower arranger, right? And I got like this aha moment about the connection because my therapist had been telling me forever to get some plants. And I was like, I kill plants. Like I don't know how to keep plants alive, right? So she's like, see, that's part of the problem. You need to get the plants, practice taking care of the plants, right? Yes. So I did. I ordered all of these plants. Okay. So I have me some lavender plants. And I also got some herbs. So I got some oregano and I have some cilantro and some mint and some lemon balm. So I done went down the plant mom pipeline.
You're a plant mom. You didn't even know you were a plant mom. You are.
I just got a little excited.
Yes, but you know what? They do make you like slow down a little bit because you can't just rush through, like they'll die. So you have to kind of slow down. So yeah, I suggest everybody to get a plant, even if it's a succulent. It can be a cactus. It can be anything.
Just something. So you just mentioned slowing down, which I am going to be very transparent when I said I be doing the most, girl. The most. You hear me? Yeah. So when I was reading off all that stuff, like about all the things that you do, I'm the same way. Like I be doing the most. Help me slow down. Talk to me and talk to us that are out here and is doing the mostness. How do we slow down?
You know what? There is a way to do the most and to slow down. Like there has to be like that little bit of balance. And that just really comes down to creating boundaries, you know? I've come from a place of running from this place to that place, doing this to that, like just pulling off this hat and that hat, and started to feel burned out because of it. Mm-hmm. So just creating boundaries with how I'm going to function and what to focus on. I think we as women, we're so used to focusing on like 10,000 things at one time. Like we're kind of conditioned that we're supposed to be like computers a little bit, just thinking about all these different things. But I only focus on one thing. Like if I'm with a birth mama, I'm not worried about blogging right then. And I'm not worried about all these other pieces because my focus right that moment is that one little piece, you know? And I think you're selling yourself a little bit short because I know your list of things intertwine. Like a lot of times when we have a list of things, they go together somehow. So yeah, you just focusing on the one thing and creating those boundaries is really how I've been able to balance a lot of the stuff.
And I know that is, I've really been getting into mindfulness lately, right? And that is the cornerstone of mindfulness is being present in the current space and the current thing. But it's hard. Like my mind, I just have so many things going on. So I don't know about y'all. Like, is this just me that is having this issue? If not, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna soak everything up from the neighbor that I can. But if y'all can relate to what I'm saying, talk to us in the comments, okay? Because I feel like when I'm trying to focus, there are so many competing interests, right? So, do you have any advice for us of how we can get to a place of practicing mindfulness or setting appropriate boundaries so that we can give the required attention to the task that we are doing at the time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think when I first came into mindfulness, I thought like it was almost like it was a challenge. Like I had to like, oh, I'm gonna meditate the most. I'm gonna do the most yoga. Like it was coming from the wrong place and
Mm,
feeling that I had to be very um, elaborate in my mindfulness. Now, I think when you take mindfulness a little bit smaller, like the little bit of little bites of mindfulness, it works out a little bit better. So in those moments when like your mind wanders, it's going to wonder. Like we've been thinking about for me, I've been thinking about a bunch of different things for almost 40 years. Like
mm-hmm,
this mind has
mm-hmm,
been going forever. So just taking moments to like breathe, and that's it. Like
mm,
not doing anything special, but just literally just taking a moment to say, okay, did I deep
mm.
breathe my nose today? Because, a lot of times we just be out here shallow breathing.
Girl, I
So
talk about this all the time, ma'am. All the time. I be like, I ain't breathed all day long.
I ain't breathe all day. Like if you lose your breath real quick, you probably ain't deep breathe all day. So it's really those little small things that kind of helped me build up my mindfulness a little bit. Like when I
Mm-hmm,
started to feel like anxious or just worried about the next thing, it's like, okay, let me just sit here. I'm gonna breathe for a second. I'm just gonna
mm-hmm.
release it. Also like changing the scenery. I'm big on getting outside. Like it's something about it. It's something about looking outside. It's something about stepping outside that it just changes everything for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
The
yeah, I
ladies of
love
virtue.
hiking. I love hiking. That's like one of my favorite things to do too.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, especially so I just moved up north from Florida. So when I said I'm in snowy Pennsylvania, honey, it is snowy, snowy,
Oh
okay?
my gosh, from
Um,
Florida. Whew,
yes,
that's a
a
big
huge
difference.
difference. A
Yeah.
huge difference. So I've really had to be very intentional about going outside because not only is it freezing and snowy and icy, right? But I like there's a river that's near me. So when I was here during the summer, I would go and I would walk a couple blocks away over to the river. But now that it's freezing cold outside, I'm not really wanting to do that. So I'm
Yeah.
finding that I'm having to make a real intentional choice about getting outside. So this is a
Yeah.
good reminder um, to make sure that I do that because I do feel better after I get
It's
outside.
something. It's something about it. It's something about that fresh air or like, little wind hitting not too long because you be out there too long, you be like, okay, time to come back
I
in.
got the
But
frostbite.
it's something about that fresh air that just does it
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And just like someone said here, like getting away from technology. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because if you go outside, you're not likely to be like, stuck. You shouldn't be stuck to your phone. You really shouldn't be.
Right.
But, you know, sometimes when we get up and get out, we leave the things that are actually draining us at
Mm.
the house.
Mm. So I've heard you say a few things. Change the scenery, get
Yes.
outside, breathe, get some plants. That y'all got that? Okay,
Get a
this is me
lot of
recapping.
plants. A
A lot
lot
of
of
plants. Okay. So we can make sure that we are setting ourselves up for success. Now, I mentioned I've just gotten into this practice of trying to be mindful. And one of the reasons is I found over the summer, and I don't think it just started over the summer, but I realized over the summer with everything that was going on in the country and the explosion of racial conversations and people recognizing for the first time that we be going through some things, right, as Black people.
yes.
Talk to me a little bit about what that awakening, how you have viewed that awakening of people in the country and how that impacts the way that you move or the way that you talk to your clients that you work with.
Um, gosh, that's a very loaded
It's a big
question.
question. I
It's a
know.
big one, so I'm gonna try to not be extremely long-winded. I think in that awakening of everything going on, I just kind of had a realization of looking around that we were all experiencing trauma together, you know. We were seeing things we never really seen up close. You know, we've heard about it. We hadn't seen it up close. We were hearing things that we definitely, on top of like just a regular pandemic, it was a lot going on. So this awakening to me made me want to like just review myself a little bit more, like to come into like what it is that I personally needed, because there was a lot of things for me that was taken away. A lot of things that I identified with. I teach yoga, but for a very long time, I taught in studios. I identified as a studio teacher, you know. I worked a different job, believe it or not, that I actually lost at the height of the pandemic. And that job I had for like 7 years. So it was like a lot of those little pieces of identity were being pulled away. And in this moment, I kind of had to come into myself to realize like, who am I at this time? With, you know, what I'm seeing, the trauma that's happening, taking away these kind of titles that were there that weren't really who I am as a person. That's just kind of where I was with it, and how I used it with my clients was just having that understanding that we were all collectively going through something. Like, even though we were individually going through things, collectively we were still going through things. So just having like that compassion and just coming to them from my heart space versus like my head space.
Talk to us about heart space.
Heart space. Okay, so heart space and head space has been definitely part of my personal awakening. When I think about my head space, I think about basically the things that were instilled in me, the things that I learned growing up, those values, those things that make me reason. And then when I think from my heart space, I consider that like our initial intuition, our gut feelings, like our initial reactions, you know, how we as humans feel like, okay, this is how we should react. And I spent a lot of years living in my headspace, and a lot of times with your headspace, you put a lot of people before yourself. Like, you might know that you're sick, but you will be like, no, in my mind, I know I got this bill to pay, I got this to do, you know, such and such is depending on me. But in your heart might be like, girl, you need to lay down probably. You know what I mean? So a lot of my awakening was kind of learning to listen to this voice in my heart that knew what I personally needed and knew what was best for me, and trying to fight away the headspace that was always, you know, putting self to the back burner. And I think a lot of us kind of deal with that, where we can reason all we want why we shouldn't go to bed. You know what I mean? We can even though we're dead tired, we can reason all we want. Like, oh no, I gotta watch this show, or
you're all about business right now, and I really appreciate it.
Am I loud? Is this loud?
I mean, all in my business. I'm like, girl, mind yours. Golly, but go ahead, go to bed on time. I heard you.
But no, that's just kind of part of that journey that I've been on. Is just listening more from this heart space and just kind of guiding people to do the same thing. And it's a journey. Like, it's something that you have to consistently work on.
So if there was, let's say, one thing that you could say that would get us a little bit closer, right, to existing in our heart space, what might be one thing that that you would suggest do this?
Honestly, the thing that makes you happy, you know, it sometimes is very simple as that. A lot of times there's things that make us happy, like putting a puzzle together, or I like to color. I'm one of those adult colorers. So that kind of makes me happy. Little things like that makes me happy. Sitting with my plants make me happy. So I started to mentally compile a list of the things that brought joy to my heart. And because I was bringing more of those things into like my everyday life, it was easier to listen from my heart space because I was basically nurturing it and feeding it with all the different things that made me happy. So if there's things that bring you joy, make you happy, just being intentional about doing more of that if it's necessary, if it's available to you.
Yeah, I love that. And I actually want to actually pause for a moment and ask us, like, what brings joy into your life, and put that into the comments, because I think that there's power in taking the time to think through it. Um, and sometimes people, it's hard to answer this question, even though it seems to be a pretty simple question. But especially when so many things are going around in our minds, it's sometimes hard to center in on that small thing. So I want to think, what brings me joy? I think I find joy. Two things just came to my mind. I
Okay.
find joy in organizing, as crazy as that might sound, but it makes me feel like things are in order. And when things are in order, I'm able to function. I can feel free. Like I feel like the energy flows freely. And the other thing that brings me joy is laughing. I love to laugh. I can be so ridiculous. I crack my own self up. But I love
Me
to
too.
laugh.
You
And
ain't laughing at yourself. You ain't doing it right.
Yes, all the time, like from deep in my toes. I'm like, girl, you are hilarious, right? But it
I
always,
promise you I say that.
yeah, I thought I was the only one. I don't feel so bad because I really be in here like having a whole comedy show with my own self, right? Uh, but yeah, I love to laugh and I love to organize. I see Jennifer put here that arts and crafts, so she might be a colorer
Yeah.
as well. I also do love to paint. I just thought about that's something, and I don't make time to do that often. I really don't, and I need to. Music also came up. LaQuisha just put music and word find puzzles. Um, let's see. Lisa said she needs to work on her catering business, giving people comfort through food. Girl, you could send me
Ooh,
something. I will
yes.
taste test for you, chat.
Right. I
Okay.
love to
Ooh,
eat.
sleep. I'll sign up for that. Okay. Christina said playing board games with her daughter is something that brings joy. So finding joy in things, it gives the ability to be able to center oneself
Yes.
and
Yes.
to really get a step closer to that mindfulness piece. I can receive that. I can receive
Yes.
that. So you mentioned earlier, well, two things. So you mentioned about a birth mom, right? So I mentioned that you were a doula. And you said when you are focused on that birthing process, that you don't blog because you're focused on that birthing process. So I kind of am really intrigued to hear about what that's like to bring new life into the world. Because
Oh
when
my
you talk about like my things intersect, I feel like, of course you birth children. Of course you do. Like it just feels
Seems
like a
about right.
natural thing, right? Of course.
Ah.
What is that experience like, and how do you connect that back to the self care and mindfulness and grounding space that you live in?
Oh man. So that honestly has to be one of the most rewarding aspects of my business is being a birth doula. Um, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. It is so funny to me that so many women have not seen birth happen. If they saw it, like you just feel so empowered. Like, oh, wow, like the body's wild. The body's real crazy. The body can do the most. But how I bring that mindfulness back to those clients is a lot of times when we're in that space of about to birth, or going through labor, or being a support person for that, that type of situation, sometimes our different hormones kick in where we're not thinking clearly, or, we can't focus. In my line of work, it is my responsibility to help those moms come back to remember their selves in these moments. Sort of to like empower them in these moments when they are feeling in pain, or maybe can't remember the different things that they wanted during that time. So essentially, it's kind of the same thing. And it's just so hard to describe how it intertwines, but it's like they're in that moment and I'm there to say, hey, remember to breathe. Hey, breathe through that contraction, keep your eyes open, find something to focus on. Like, I'm just kind of that calm for them to help them continue to connect with themselves.
Yeah, I don't have any children, so I have never gone through the birthing process as far as birthing a child, but I have birthed some dreams.
Yes.
And just now when you were talking, I almost got a little like emotional, because I'm like, that's what we need, is somebody to um, remind us of ourselves, to remind us of who we are, to sis, I need you to breathe. I need you to stop for a moment.
Yes.
And I need you to breathe. I need you to stop for a moment and remember how amazing you are. Even though every time you walk out that door, people tell you that you aren't, I need you to tap into yourself. And it just feels like the energy that you just tapped into in that moment. As Laquisha said, a beautiful support, right? And we all need this type of support in our lives. We all need people who can see us for who we are, even at, because what I've heard, the word on the street is that birth is not like a cute process, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And that's what I heard. That's the word on the street. But yeah, but even in that process, like if I think about it in like a spiritual manner, that there's so much going on as we're trying to tap into dreams and passions and birth those things. And I lean on my tribe and the people who I know me. They know the inner me, and they can see when I'm not my best, so they can step up and be that support that you just described. That is a beautiful thing, and that's something that everybody needs a piece of. Yeah. So on that note, we got an announcement that we want to make. Y'all saw that build up. We have an announcement that we want to make, because we're creating one of these spaces for the Beautiful Brown Girls family. So hopefully I'll do this right. So we have created a space here at Beautiful Brown Girls called Sister Circles. Denawa, talk to us about Sister Circles. What is the purpose? How did the name come about? Tell us the things, and how can we be a part of it? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
I got excited.
Okay, so Sister Circle is going to be a monthly gathering of us just coming together, talking about different topics that we want to birth out of ourselves, essentially. It is a support type of group where we're able to lean on each other, encourage each other. There's going to be some journaling. There's going to be times to just, speak and talk. Like Sister Circle is something that will be forever evolving, and a way for us to connect with each other and to get that additional support. And I'm excited to announce that our first meeting will be on March the 13th. There will be some more information, as in the times and the details. But yes, March 13th, that is when we will get together for the first time to sort of pour into each other.
I am so excited about this. And it's going to be on our members network, you all. So I'm going to let that scroll for a little bit down there so that you all can see that. But I'm so excited about this because I think this is what so many of us have been craving, is a carved out space to focus truly on self, right? I, man, if I could just, I could probably take 2 hours to talk about just all the things that I personally have been walking through and just trying to reach out. Just yesterday, one of my sorority sisters reached out after a message that I sent, and she was like, "You all right?" Because
Mm.
I feel like I need to be here to support you. Is how can I help you? How can I take the burden off of your shoulders? What can I do to be able to support you? And it meant the world to me because again, she saw me, right? She saw
Right.
that there was something that she could do in order to help me be a better person. And again, so many of us don't have that, or we've just been craving that, especially being so separate from people.
Yes.
So this is really exciting to have this space where we can have those conversations and encourage each other and uplift each other and challenge each other
Yes.
in places and spaces. So I want to talk about that challenge piece because you
Okay.
and I had a conversation the
Yes,
other
we
day.
have.
So now I'm gonna put your business out in the streets since you was all up in my business earlier. Okay. So the other day, we were talking and I was saying, we were trying to get all the things of what we were going to talk about today. And we kind of were just like, oh, the spirit's gonna
Mhm.
move, the spirit just flows, whatever, whatever. And you
Yes.
kept saying things like, oh, well, I'm not like a boss. I'm not really that
I'm not that
girl.
girl.
That's
I'm
what
not
you
that
said. That's what
girl.
you said. I'm not that girl. And what did I say back to you?
You said you are that girl. Uh, yes,
Period.
period. That's it. Period.
Period.
That's
But
it.
let's talk a little bit about questioning our ability because there are times that all of us are in that space, right? Somebody sees something in us that for
Yeah.
some reason we don't see, right? And here we go questioning, I'm not that girl. What talk to us about
Uh,
that?
Talk to you about not being that girl. I got you.
Yeah.
I wrote the book on that one. Ah, so I think it's very easy to see other people and measure ourselves against
Mm,
them, even though we
mm,
don't know the ins and outs. You know what I mean? Like we're all out here giving it our best shot. Like we're doing the best we can, but it's easy to kind of look at someone that's in a similar field and say, okay, they've made it. Based on what
yeah.
I see on the outside. Um, and they do it this way, and you kind of feel like anything that's different, you're like, oh no, I'm not there yet. So that's kind of like where that was coming from. And I know that for me it's easier to speak that confidence into other people. Sometimes it's easier to do it for
Mm,
other people, but when it's like your turn, you're like, not listening to that.
mm,
So I think a
mm,
lot of that of not feeling like you're not capable or worthy can be an illusion of, stuff in our own heads. Is not because anybody said it, but is
mm,
things that we've built up on ourselves where we don't even start. Like we stop before we even start, essentially.
mm. You know what you just reminded me of just now when you said things that are in our heads is the head
Yeah.
space versus the heart space that we were just talking
Headspace.
about a little bit ago, right?
Yes,
So
it's
that
fair.
programming that we have in our head space, whether it be programming that someone actually put there with their words, or whether it be programming that we put there because of comparison syndrome, right? But
Yeah.
moving past that headspace into the heart space and understanding how we were created and how we were designed, and
Yeah.
that we're in the exact space that we're supposed to be in at this time, because this book has already been written. This is where I'm supposed to be right
Right.
now. And it's perfect the way it is, even when it doesn't feel good.
Right.
It's perfect because it has a purpose that is going to be birthed through the process.
Right. And
Mm,
then always, the purpose is way past us. Like we always kind of think like here's where it stops. But no, a lot of our things impact others. And then we don't even
yeah.
see in the way that like us walking in our purpose can do those impacts. But
Mm.
again, if we're like waiting on the headspace, because if I would have listened to my headspace, I definitely wouldn't have done this interview. I would have been
Dang,
like,
girl, what?
well, because it makes me nervous. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I'm not used to being on camera. That is me thinking from my headspace, because that makes me nervous. There's no reason why not. Like we
Mhm.
had a great conversation a couple days ago with no issues, but in my
Right.
headspace it was like, "Oh, you're going to sound crazy," or like, I don't know, all the things that we tell ourselves, but it's still coming back to the heart space and walking in that purpose and knowing
Mm.
that, like you said, even if it doesn't look perfect to us, it is impactful for someone else, or it is
Yeah.
part of the story that was already written. We just gotta
Mm.
do what we gotta do.
Mm. Now, you mentioned a word that is near and dear to my
Yes.
heart, because I brought it up, but that word is purpose.
Purpose.
And tapping into that purpose and identifying that purpose. What do you think is your purpose?
Oh man, I believe this is my purpose. It scares me, but this is where I know I connect and impact the most, with being a person who understands that we're all walking in this sort of trauma, in the debris of said trauma of last year. Um, I believe my purpose is to hold space for those individuals that have been impacted in various
Mm-hmm.
ways. Sometimes that holding of space is being there to support them during their birth.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that way of holding space is me writing something that resonates with someone to remind them to breathe. Sometimes that's me teaching a class that allows someone to connect back with their body. Like there's just so many different things, but the theme is the same for holding
Mm-hmm.
space. So that in my heart, speaking from my heart space, is my purpose.
Mm. I felt that. I felt that
Yeah.
deep down. I enjoyed that. Hmm. So, ladies, I pose the same question to you all. What is your purpose? Right? Put that into the chat. What is your purpose? And you also may have some questions for Denawa, so you can go ahead and drop those as well. We have about 10 minutes or so left, so go ahead and drop your questions. But what's your purpose? Why are you here? What are you here for? I can say that my purpose is to leave people better than I found them. So in every space that I enter, virtual, physical, what have you, my goal is to leave people a little bit better, whether it's they were able to smile, whether I could give an inspirational word, whether it is whatever conversation we're having is a break from whatever else that they may have had going on. If it's a laugh, if it is, I also recognize I have a prophetic spirit. So sometimes I say things to people that I don't know why I'm saying it, but it's just what they needed to hear to move them into their purpose. So honoring that. But I recognize that when I enter into spaces, the point is for me to bring some type of upliftment or some type of something that is going to make them feel better. And I remember when I discovered what my purpose was, how motivated and empowered I was. Like I was like, oh, like now I know why I'm waking up in the morning, right? And it again brings me back to that heart space that you're talking about. Like the purpose lives in that heart space. It makes me feel like I want to go do some yoga right now and tap deeper.
Yeah. Oh. But you know what? I can say that you are rocking in your purpose. I definitely feel like every time we connect, you leave me a little bit better. So I definitely feel that.
Well, I appreciate that. That's what I strive for. So that is a good thing. Very good. So I guess what I would like to ask is back to this space that we are going to create here with the
Yes.
Sister Circle. And if you could envision it to be, and you are envisioning it to be whatever you want it to be, what do you want people to feel like, the women to feel like,
Mm.
once they leave that space? Like, what is your hope and wish for women once they enter the sister circle and then leave the sister circle?
So my ultimate intention and wish for this space is that everyone feels welcomed and feel at home. I want this to be another place that they could feel supported. I don't want anyone to come into the space and feel that they have to be at a certain level or they have to know this or have all these answers or what have you. I want everyone to come in and just feel like no matter where they are in that month or
Mm-hmm.
that day or wherever they may be, that they can feel at peace and welcome in this space. Like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have, like, just like all these plants, I wanted to be calm. Like I wanted to feel welcoming.
Mm. And I also hear you saying that the space can be customized based
Yes.
on the people that are there, right? So I hear you saying just show up, like come as
Right.
you are, as they, as they say
Come
at
as you
church.
are. This space will be cultivated based on you. Like it is what we need as a collective. Not
Mm.
necessarily coming in with an agenda. Like, of course, there may be times where there is a theme. Just like we're doing the self-love theme this month. There may
Mm-hmm.
be a theme at times if we feel called and led to there being a theme, but this is just a space in which we can come at whatever point and support each other and lean on each other and encourage each other.
Hmm. So I then, in that spirit, am going to pose to our community. What do we want out of the sister circle space, right? And this is especially as Black women, we don't often get to curate our spaces, right? We kind of
Mm-hmm.
have to adapt to the spaces that we choose to occupy. But this is ours, and we get to curate this. So what do we want out of this space? Let's go ahead and put that into the chat. So as Denawa is working to customize this for us, that she can take us in mind as to
Yes.
what it is that we want to receive from the space and what it is that we want to get out of that space. Okay. So drop those in the chat, and I see her getting her notebook, honey. She is good.
Yes.
She's about to take some
I
notes.
am.
Yeah, you heard her.
You
She
don't,
tried. She
you don't
opened the
know
book and
me.
was
You
like,
don't know my life. Like
I saw
I stay with a
it.
notebook. I stay with a notebook. I be ready.
I love it. So I see Christina here. She says she wants to learn more about meditation.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
adding that, as well as a practice of daily mindfulness, what that looks like to actually execute mindfulness on a daily basis. I
Yeah.
think I can even say for myself, sometimes I feel like it's such a big thing. And
Yeah.
it's not, but in my mind, I'm saying like this is gonna take so long, and and
Right.
it's just really not. So learning how to practice
Just
that
take
healing
those
mindset.
moments for mindfulness. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Jennifer said she wants to learn more about yoga.
Okay.
So we could do yoga in the space.
I mean, if that's what we want to do for our meeting, we absolutely can.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
Okay. LaQuisha said maybe bringing others who can relate on certain topics into the
Okay.
space.
Yes.
Y'all keep it coming. This good. I'm getting excited. This gonna be good today.
It's going to be so good.
So y'all keep it coming. What do we want out of our sister circles space? Okay, so I'm gonna put that back up there so y'all can keep dropping those comments. So in the meantime, while they're doing that, talk to the ladies about where they can find you. How can they connect
Oh,
with you? We
yes.
know that you're going to be in our sister circles, but that's not all that you do. So tell us again about all of these intersecting and intertwined lanes that you live in, and how can we connect with you?
Yes, absolutely. So, yes. I can be found on Instagram or Facebook at Denawa Deniece, and it is spelled exactly how my name should show. I can't see it from here, so
I'll
I
put it back up. No
okay.
worries.
It's like I
There
can't
you
see
go.
it. Yes,
I got you, boo.
thank you. All right, but yes, I can be found on Instagram and Facebook at Denawa Deniece, and then of course, you can definitely check out my website doubledosewellness.com. Um, all the different things that's available there. I am a birth doula. So if you are looking for a birth doula or know someone who is looking for one, I do offer those services locally and virtually. And then, of course, I know,
Yeah,
right?
boo. Virtual
Well, I mean,
reality.
we're meeting virtual nowadays.
You
Like
right.
we on another level, you know. Which I
Wow.
absolutely love because this gives me an opportunity to connect with clients that are not local. So if they wanted a birth doula and they didn't have one locally, I love the fact that um, how do you become? Oh man, that's a loaded question too, Crystal.
Crystal, she might need to reach out at Danae with Denise.
Yeah, reach out to me. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But then I think the very last thing is I do offer one-on-one services that are customized. They also are based on exactly what you need. There is one one-on-one where we're talking a lot about the different things internally that you may want to change or take notice of for a more mindful life. And then there is another one where we examine all the different things that are externally. So both of those services are on my website.
I'm here for it, girl. I am here. I'm so glad that you took us up on the offer to connect and hang out with us tonight.
Yes, listen to my heart space and said that this is where I
Yes.
needed to be.
Yes, this has been so uplifting and on so many different levels. So I'm very excited. Yeah, this is good. Like I'm ready to go back and watch the replay and actually take it in. In as a participant
Yeah.
in the process. But thank you for tapping into that heart space
Yeah.
and sharing a piece of yourself with us as we are here. And I really look forward to getting to know you better in our sister circles and really having the opportunity to get to know you ladies that are also going to be joining us, because this is going to be ours, y'all. Like
This is
this is going
it.
to be
This is
ours.
ours. We can make
Yes.
it, we can create it exactly how we want it to be.
Absolutely. So again, our big announcement, we are creating sister circles. When is it starting again, Denawa? The first
March
one?
13th.
March 13th,
Yes.
and details are going to be coming out, I believe, next week
Yes.
on the Members Network. So I'll put that back up. So members.beautifulbrowngirls.com is where you'll be able to sign up, and it's kind of like you all know the challenges that we have on the Members
Mhm.
Network. Like it's kind of that type of vibe and feel, and kind of the type of vibe and feel we had here tonight. Like you all
Yes.
get to see what Denawa is like, and that's what she's bringing into the circle. Okay.
I'm so excited. So excited.
Yes. So we also want to make sure that, again, you all are connected to us on our members network. So this is what it looks like when you go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com. You'll be able to connect with us there, and you can do that on your desktop as well as on your mobile device. And then we also want to make sure that you're connected to us in all the other ways that matter, so that some of you all are first timers. So we want to make sure that you have liked us on Facebook at Beautiful Brown Girls, that you have joined our Facebook group, Beautifully Shaded, that you also have followed us on Instagram at Beautifully Shaded, and on Twitter at Beautiful Brown You. So, any parting words that you want to leave with our community before we go?
Oh man, any parting words? Uh, well, I would say to find something that brings you happiness to your heart and add a little bit more of that to your week this week.
Mm,
See what a difference that'll make.
mm. I receive that. I receive that, and I accept that, and I need that. So thank
Yes, so I'm
you.
gonna check on you and see if you painted anything.
Oh gosh. Okay. 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 I'm gonna do that.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I received the challenge. Did you see me? I'm like, okay. All right. All right. All right. I can do that. Yes, I received the challenge. I actually just unpacked my paint supplies just the other day. So
Okay, it's aligning.
right, right. I thought I was putting it up in the closet, but clearly I'm about to use it. So that's cool.
Exactly.
I received the name. What I receive. Okay. So, so thank you for that. So, ladies, find something that brings you joy this week, and get it popping, and then meet us over in our members network to talk about what that's like.
Yeah.
So that we can really again encourage each other and support each other in this process, and make sure also that you all are connected to us, because we have our next episode of Conversations is going to be on Monday the 15th. I will already go ahead and tell y'all I'm going to be so ridiculous because my birthday is on Sunday. I turned 40.
Uh,
Child,
yes.
you hear me? I'm excited about it. Okay, I don't even think I'm doing anything, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm really excited about it. So make sure that you all come and hang out with us on Brown Conversations on Monday, 8 p.m. on our Facebook page here. And yeah, let's show Danae with some love. Let's head on over to Instagram and make sure that we follow her on Instagram. Blow her inbox up with all the things that we want to see in the sister circle.
Yes.
And thank you, Denawa. I really, really appreciate you. So thank you for bringing your best self
Oh,
into this space tonight.
thank you for having me. It was so fun as usual.
Yay. Awesome sauce. So we will catch y'all next time. You all have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And we'll see y'all on Monday. So take care, y'all. Bye.
Bye.